Welcome back to FM Storey. We're approaching the midway point of the 5th season of this save. It's our first season with Vélez in Argentina. And after a bit of a ropey start, things have started to look up. We are on the verge of getting some reinforcements in, which they should be in this episode. So without further ado, let's get into the action. It's time for the second leg of the second round of the Copa Sudamericana against Independiente del Valle. We have done a lot of transfer business. There's a lot of players gone out. Likes of Mamini has gone to Alaves. Albanese, unfortunately, we lost because he had a £6.5 million release fee clause in his contract, and he's gone to Sassuolo. We've also sold Lobato to Atletico Paranense for some big money, and Correa to Vasco da Gama for some big money as well. And then finally we sold Garialdi to Palmeiras for 10 million. In terms of the incomings, we'd already done deals for Giovanni Simeone, Felipao, Lautaro Blanco, Johan Mikan and Rodrigo de Paul. And then we brought in some extra younger players in Flavio Gomez, who we've brought in to play on the left wing. Young. And then we brought in Francisco Petrasso, who's a bit more experienced, to give us some extra depth in the centre of defence. We ended the last episode with a 1-0 defeat at home against River, and then we went on a bit of a horrible run. We lost 4-3 away from home against Talares, who were top of the table. We lost 4-1 at home against Instituto, and then in a wildly entertaining game we lost 5-4 away at Gimnasia. We then bounced back with a 4-2 victory at home against Tigre before a dismal game against Racing, which we drew 0-0. We won 1-0 against Tempoli despite having to play sent-off early on, and then we won comfortably 5-0 against Ferro with a hat-trick from Francisco Lobato. And in the first leg of the second round of the Copa Sudamericana, we won 2-0 thanks to goals from Simeone and Flavio Gomez, both new signings. As far as the league's concerned, that's the end of the league phase. We finished 7th with 47 points from 27 games, a long way adrift of Talares, who finished top of the table and were champions. Even River and Boca were quite some way behind them. We're about to embark on the Copa della Liga. We've been drawn in Group A alongside the likes of Boca and Talares and Lanús. So there's some difficult games we're going to have in this group stage, but hopefully we can finish in the top 4 and qualify for the knockout stages towards the end of the season. But now the attention turns back to the Copa Sudamericana for the second leg of the second round against Independiente del Valle. We're obviously going with that 2-goal advantage, and Petrasso unfortunately is cup tied because he already played for Independiente. Had a bit of an issue with the recording of the second leg of the Independiente del Valle game. We went into the team with pretty much a stronger team as we could put out, with new signings, Felipao, Mikan, Rodrigo de Paul, all featuring. We were a bit light in midfield, so Baltazar Rodriguez had to play midfield. Gaston Espinosa has been one of our star players this season. Has attracted a lot of attention from other clubs. Unfortunately, he picked up an early injury. But we opened the score and the ball came back to Anderson Arroyo, into Escudero, who'd had to step into midfield. Found Barreto, who scores at the near post past the keeper. I mean, really, the keeper should have saved that. But then in the second half, we wasted chances. They went up the other end quickly from a counter-attack from a corner of ours and finished to make it 1-1 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. So we're through to the quarterfinals of the Copa Sudamericana. We were supposed to be, the next game up was supposed to be the 6th round of the Copa Argentina against Aldivisi. That's now been rearranged because we're in the quarterfinal of the Copa Sudamericana. That's our next game up, is the first leg away at America de Cali. Now, we have played America de Cali twice already in the group stage of this competition this season. We did win both games, so hopefully we can go there, put in a decent performance in the first leg and get ourselves into a strong position to make it into the semi-finals. It's time for the first leg of the quarter-final against America de Cali. We have had the domestic transfer window close, and we've done a bit of business. We've seen a couple of players go out. Ledesma went out to Banfield. He was never going to get anywhere near the first team picture. DeVito's gone out on loan, but it's the incomings where we've done some business. So Petrasso we'd already signed. Unfortunately, he's cup tied for the Copa Sudamericana because he's played in it for Independiente. But we have signed 2 midfielders, which is when you see who's available and who's not available for the next game. It was adamant. It was a priority that we got some midfielders in. So firstly, we've signed Manuel Monaco from Sarmiento. Can play in the centre midfield, can play in that number 10 role if needed. And then we've signed Matthias Seru, who is more of a central midfielder but can push forward if needed as well. He's also only 18 years old as well. So hopefully he can develop over a season or 2 with us and help us to achieve our aims with Vélez. And I said it was key that we signed some midfielders because we were short of midfielders for the second leg against Independiente del Valle. But we're now missing Gaston Espinosa as one of the 3 players that's out injured, who is a central midfielder. Santiago Caceres, also a central midfielder, is highly doubtful and won't be fit enough to start the game. So it was important that we picked up some midfielders to just give us some actual players that can play there. And so this is the team we're going to the first leg with. It's a very different team from the one that played against America de Cali in the group stages. We've obviously had a lot of players come in and quite a few players go out as well. So we're going with Seru and Monaco. We're giving them both starts, giving them the first game just a couple of days after joining the club in the centre of that midfield. Right, so from the kickoff, they've gone back to the defenders. Lovato's chasing up top. They've gone back to the keeper. Right. Seems to be passing it around us pretty well. And over the top, in behind Mikan, into the box. Good block on that one. And then Escudero launches it out of play for a throw-in. And we've got lucky there. It's still early on. Seru to Rodrigo de Paul. Ferrari to Barreto on the right. He loses out. And we are... they're into the box again, squared. And we have not woken up here. 2 minutes on the clock. They've had 2 great chances. They've taken one of them. And we're already 1-0 behind away from home in the first leg. Just not good enough. Right, they went long with a goal kick. They won the knockdown. And they're attacking again. And they're into the box again. What on earth is going on here? Thankfully, that one's been disallowed. But even against Boca and River, although we got hammered by Boca, they didn't cut us open this easily. All right, Rodrigo de Paul with a free kick, pulls it short. Saru's shot's blocked. Lovato squares it. Somehow no one can turn it in. And it goes all the way across for a goal kick, for a throw-in. Arroyo with a throw. Ferrari. Across to Escudero. Back to Ferrari. Seru. Barreto. We're keeping the ball, but I do have visions of us just giving it away in our half and then breaking again. Escudero to Mikan. In behind the fullback, Vega now. Gets to the byline. There's a tackle there. He's got it back. Mikan squares it to Rodrigo de Paul in the edge of the area. Across to Barreto, back to Arroyo. And nothing comes of it. And there we are, half-time, 1-0 down, quieting down towards the end of that first half, but we really were asleep from the kickoff. Although we gradually got more into the game, we've not really done anything there. Right, we've sent the same team out to start the second half to give them some time to get us back into the game, but we may need to make changes. Very little's happened to start the second half, but Monaco back to Escudero. He goes all the way back to Felipao. Now Rodrigo de Paul in looking for Monaco. He's giving it away, and now they're going to break. Mikan wins it back. Monaco into Lovato. Barreto. De Paul. A lovely ball to find Barreto on the right. Pulls it back to Seru. Squares it. And we've hit the post. Right, we've made some changes in the attacking area of the pitch to try and get some way back into the game. Flavio Gomez, who's just come on with a corner to the near post, up in the air. And Ferrari's header just loops into the keeper's hands. And the keeper goes along with it. Mikan wins the header. Monaco finds Caceres. Back to Escudero. Striding forward. Finds Caceres. Seru to Lovato, who's out on the right now. Arroyo. Lovato now. Infield to Caceres. Mikan onto Gomez. He fires across goal. And it goes behind for a corner, which he's come across to take. In swing it towards the back post, up in the air, and nothing comes of it. Corner from the other side, Gomez towards the back post. Escudero gets his head on it, and it's onto the roof of the net. Right, we've made the final changes to try and get something back in this game. Right, Gomez with a corner, in swing to the back post, and we've hit the post again. Right, Villa with a throw. Rodriguez now on the right, infield to Seru, into the box looking for Simeone. It comes to Monaco. He fires home, levels it at 1-1 on the night in this first leg, and that was a very important goal. So Rodriguez into Seru in the midfield. He runs, fires it into Simeone. It comes off the defender. Monaco following up, fires home, and that could be a vital, vital goal. And there we go, full time. The end of the first leg, poised on a knife edge, 1-1. I mean, I think we were much better in the second half. We had much more, well, I mean, we had a lot more shots. We've peppered the goal. In the end, we've got one. And that then leaves a nicely balanced tie going into the home leg to see if we can make it into the semi-finals. And there we are, the end of another episode. And after a pretty disastrous start to the episode, we have rebounded. We're in a strong position going into the second leg of the quarterfinal of the Copa Sudamericana. We're still in the Copa Argentina, and we've got the Copa de la Liga to begin in the next episode. So join us next time to see if we can make it past America to Cali into the semi-finals and see how we get on in the other competitions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.